Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. Hello, how are you? Won't you all come on, you beautiful, beautiful people on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday? I hope it's all working. You never know till somebody comes on. Here's somebody coming on now. Hi Angela, just give me a shout out there and tell me if you can hear me. Hiya Lucy, how are you babes? How's it going? Hey Luce, how are you? Happy Sunday. Got my plaster off, my fingers on the mend. Yes. Nick, can you hear me? How's battle stations there? Bonny day. Mandy, is it a bonny day? I like that, yeah. It looks like the weather's been pretty good around Europe. Morning, my man Nick. They were all asking would I bring you on, and I was saying I tried to get you on last week. Can you hear me okay? Yeah? Hi Samuel, how are you? How's it going? Hey Karen, how are you babes? How's it going? Yeah, you can hear me all good. Yeah, Nick, they were trying to get me to get you to come on. And I said, the guy's just finished work and he's having a cup of coffee. There she is. Martha's in the house. Train wreck trying to get on. Yes, and Martha, it's early, yeah. I said, it's not fair on you. I mean, he's been working all week and he's probably had a few Chablis last night and a fair bit of vaping. Himself and Tracy are like... vapors. You want to see the pair of them smoke. It's like the Vatican for a new pope. The two of them sitting together. I'm very well, Samuel. I hope you're well. Tracy, I was just mentioned daylight savings time. Okay, Martha, that's why you're on. Hiya, Sarah. How's it going? Good to see you on. Great to see you, Sarah. I was just saying you and Nick, proper vapors. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. You did have a few. You did. I did as well last night. I've got into this habit now of having sushi and wine on a Saturday night. Hiya, Jane. How's it going? I hope your treatment's going well and you're still banging out the classes. You're great. Jane Wallace is about to bring out a balayage masterclass video. And we will all be buying it, okay? Because Jane has found herself in a position where she's not able to work and she's not insured and she's a self-employed hairdresser and one of the best balayagers we have. And a cherished member of the Weller family, and once her video drops we will be getting behind it massively, and it'll be a fantastic watch because she's one of the best out there. Jane, I'm talking about you. Proper vapors. The two of yous smoke everywhere. I'm hi Sasho, how's it going? Karen, great to see you on. Yes. Martha, you're all on. Don't be afraid to talk among yourselves. Hiya, Ali. How are you? Thanks for staying up late. Hi, Yam and Pat. How are you? Yeah, you know I'm on. 6th of April is the release date. Okay, 6th of April to March, the release date. We might do the whole month for you, Jane. You know what I mean? We'll be getting behind you. I still remember sending you that message when I was saying to you should be an educator. And you said to me, really? And I said, yeah, really. You said, well, I just work from home. And I said, so what? Should be an educator. You know, and Lacey, there's one of the other best balayagers in the world on as well. Miss Lacey Werner. If you do not follow Lacey, follow her. She is incredible and she is a mind of information. I mean, one of her classes, you'd need to have a lie down after watching it. Hi Jane, don't you worry. This community, we got your back, okay? We're all about community. There's going to be a lot of talking about community today because that's what I've been thinking about. Hiya, Lucian, how are you? And may I just tell Lucian, it's just been confirmed that I'm going to Romania in October for 3 days. And I'm judging the Trend Vision and I'm doing stuff over there, Lucian. So we'll be able to do a Facebook Live from Lucian's famous academy, and you'll be able to see, Lucian, who's really famous for his grey and lavender blondes. I mean, he's one of the best in the business. You're all vapors, you're all vapors. So I'm coming, Lucian. I'm coming for the Trend Vision. I think it's a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm really looking forward to coming to Romania. I think there's some fantastic hairdressers in team. And I've been a big fan of the Romanian hairdressers. Hi, wifey, how are you? My wife's watching this in she goes out every Sunday now, and just Caitlin stays in with me. She goes out every Sunday. Hi, Roisin, how are you, babes? Good to see you on. David Sacco, one of the most brilliant scientists, is on there as well. Great to have you on. I'm a big fan of scientists. I like John Lalkoff and David Sacco. I'd probably prefer to spend an hour or two with those two than I would like Brad Pitt and Robert De Niro, because I just think they're just fascinating people and they've got so much They're just so interesting. We've got so much going on. A weekend in Darmstadt sounds really exciting to me. It wouldn't to other people, but it does to me. You see the blockhead, yeah. I work in pivot points. Yes, this one's quite good. This is La Image, Sasko. It's quite good. It's La Image. Yeah, they're quite good. I mean, they're not. I saw the fabulous the fabulous Michael Polsonetti, who I used to teach in Florence. Would you believe what a glamorous gig? I used to go to Florence and teach with Michael Polsonetti, and he had the most amazing head block I've seen. It was blonde, and I was put up the other day. It was razor haircuts, and it was gorgeous. So if you tag Michael, you might see his ones are pretty amazing. Hi Luca, how are you? Alan, what's going on? How's it going? Loads of yous on. God, lots bombs. The numbers are flying up this week. Graham, how are you? Welcome. Michael has one of the best dolly heads I've ever seen. But it's pretty, they're pretty good. The standards have got so much better, haven't they, really? Hi Rachel, how are you? Thanks everybody for spending some time. We're going to go through the Colourtouch, and we're going to talk about a few other things that I've been thinking about all week. At the moment about hairdressers, and you know me, I've been thinking about things and stuff. I do be thinking about things, and I do be thinking about stuff. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer things, or do you prefer stuff? Hi Tanya, how are you? Great to see you on, and you Salas, thank you for joining me. Hi April, how's it going? Write down which you prefer. Do you prefer things, or do you prefer stuff, or do you think they're both the same? That's the question for you. Colourtouch is amazing. Lacey mixes Colourtouch 1-to-1, and she mixes it 2-to-1, and she has her own little systems, as does Jane, as does all the balayagers. They love Colourtouch because it lasts really well, and it's brilliant for melting. Hiya Colin McAndrews, the new UK and Ireland. I think he's haircut director or a creative director of creative director for Wella UK and Ireland. So give him a shout out there. He's a lovely man, and he's one of the most amazing haircutters. I got him to put up a video before, and he's fantastic haircutter, and a gentleman, an absolute joy to work with and to be around. A lovely energy, a lovely man, authentic, like all you guys here on the page. Lovely and authentic and real, and just everything you want in a hairdresser. Terrific. So will we get going? Will we get going? 75 on. Mark Allison made it. Mark, I'm surprised you made it. So there's Colin on there. Give him the L shout out and welcome. It lasts, it shines, it sells. Fantastic, Lacey. Absolutely fantastic. There's actually a few new shades coming in May, and I forgot to write them down here. So if someone can tag, if Nick, maybe you can put them up the new, because I got to go ahead that I can say which ones they are. There's the 1075, and I think there's the 835, and there's ones in the Bellini shades, but I just forgot to write them down. So if you can either tag Eddie Sweeney there, he'll actually write them up for you, or maybe Uncle Nick might have the names of them there for you as well. Yes, we are, Solace. Hiya, Sean. How's it going? You prefer things? I like that, Sora. Prefer things, or do you prefer stuff? It's a bit of a trick question, but people in the know, they in the know. Woohoo. Okay, Sarah, so I'm not sure about the shades. Okay, will we tag Eddie, or do you know what? I'll post them on the page later, the numbers of the new. They're not coming till May anyway, so there's no rush. Okay, Vanya. So this is Colourtouch. Okay, Colourtouch is a non-ammonia demi-permanent product that is amazing. Now there's a little bit of ammonia in the Colourtouch Plus because it covers so much. Martha, it's great. Give me the loves and the likes there as we're going up. And any questions you have, I got a few questions today. Put them up a few times if I don't see them, and don't be afraid to talk among yourselves. We're all friends and family here. There's no need for any there's no need for any shyness or for anything like that. We're all in this. Yes, they're nice actually, Sarah. 10.7, I think 10.75, and I think 8.35. So they're beautifully. That's a big book, isn't it? A big book, yeah. It's a monster book, and there's a couple of shades missing because people are always taking them out. Hi Kathy, how are you? Good to see you on, babes. Okay, so It is, it's mildly oxidizing, you know, and we'll go into melts, we'll go into toning, we'll go into covering, we'll go into repigmentation. I use a lot of Colourtouch. I mean, I think a lot of people do for these days, because Colourtouch is just such a great product. It's so versatile. It'll bump the base for you if you need it to bump the base for you. If you put it on damp hair and you prepare the hair properly, it won't bump the base. But like any product with a developer in it, colour is colour. But if you do it right, it'll never let you down. It's an amazing product. I love the 9/7s too. The wonderful Christine in my salon said to me today, you know, like they're kind of like stone, aren't they? They're kind of like a stone colour, and I was like, yes, they are. They actually are. So in a part of me, it's kind of like the 9/7s are like the stone range. Hi, Huberton, great to see you. Love your work here. Hi, Anne. Thanks, Cathy. You rock too. Take care of that Colin fella for me, will you? He's one of those. You need one of those books. You'll get one from your rep, you know. Yeah, Colourtouch is hard touch. Alexandria, I love that. Alexandria, you've got such a lovely way with words, you know that. Lovely girl. You're a lovely girl. New sweatshirt, guys, as well. I didn't wear the grey t-shirt there, you know, just because, you know, it was washed, and I was like, if I wear that again, I'll have to buy a t-shirt. It's not ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So we'll go through it bit by bit. Yes, that's quite okay, Lucy. You're never late. You can always watch it back. We'll go through it bit by bit. We'll start off with the Pure Naturals, which go from black all the way up to 10. 10-0. 10-0 is great for diluting certain shades. Here's Ollie in the house. Ollie in the house now. If there's certain shades that we don't have and you have, you can put them up. You can put them up on the page here. It'd be interesting to see if there's colours we don't have that you have and you don't have. I'll order from you that. My rep does not have it. Yes. Stone Mushroom. That's even nice. I like the sound of that. I'll be back after my mum. Michelle, wish your mum a happy birthday from me, will you? Happy birthday, mum. And I'm Hola. How's it going, Ollie? I loved that post on Karen. I particularly loved her blow dry. It was terrific. And then Christopher gets on. I had cracking myself laughing. So they're just the regular bases, which are great. Do you know what these are great for? If you have a toner and you need to anchor a toner, so sometimes if you didn't reach the exact level you're looking for, like say you wanted a level 9 and it's a level 9 with a little bit of a level 8 in it, and you want to anchor that toner, but you don't want to go down to a level 8, like you don't want to go to an 881 or something like that, that if you add a little bit of 80 into your, say, 916, your 901, your 936 or anything like that, it'll just drop it. It'll drop your toner. Boom! It'll drop it just a little bit, and it'll anchor the 9 in for you. Do you understand what I mean? So if you just put a little bit of base, a little bit of depth in with your tone, depth and tone, depth and tone, depth and tone. Can I ever say that enough? I must say it about 50 times a day on the page, but there you go. Depth and tone. Hiya, Heather. How's it going? Fantastic educator. Ollie, how are you? And Ollie, listen, I'm working on it. You're going to be doing something with me in Manchester, just to let you know, in May, to keep the date free. It's going to happen, you know. Get yourself a nice outfit, tight trousers. We'll have to sew you into something, Ollie. You know what I mean? To just, you know, let them see the manhood of you, the just the Greek god that you are. You know what I mean? So keep that day free. If you're not in gone away with your job, you'll be doing that day with me for sure. So that's a little tip for you straight off the bat, that the 80 is terrific for anchoring. Or again, something that if you're doing a 775 and you just, again, you want to just put a little bit of depth just to anchor it, a little bit of 70 in with it, just enough for depth, and it'll anchor your colours. So that's what next month we finally get 10-0. 10-0 is great, but 10-6 I use a lot of, Luca. I use a lot of 10-6 really. 901, 903 and 703. Now, this is another little tip from Uncle Andrew here for you. That 901 and 903 mixed together gives you the most, like, you can see how flat and beige this is. Covers grey really well, this one. Yeah, you can see how flat. Hiya, Heather. Great to see you, babes. It'll mute it. I like it. Oh, you shouldn't be scared of 10-6, Lucy. There's nothing to be scared of, you know. Fear just makes you focus. Fear is not something to be, fear is not something to be, it's not something to be lived in for too long. But if you're a little bit afraid of something, it's because you need to focus. And once you focus and you watch it take and you trust the process, you'll come out the other side and you'll be away in a hack, okay? So if you mix 901 and 903, you get the most beautiful muted beige, okay? You get the most beautiful, beautiful muted beige. And for a particular type of client, as a background colour in between your highlights, I would recommend a half 903, a half 901, and a quarter of 80, okay? A quarter of 80, and that will give you like just a beautiful champagne. It's a lovely colour to do in between the packets. And some people put Colourtouch on dry. It will bump the base if you do. They mix it 1-to-1 to give it a heavier saturation. The proper mixes are 1-to-2 on damp hair. But as you know, once a product gets out in the wild, you terrific hairdressers, you're like amazing chefs. Once you give them a chili, they can make Anton with it. And once it gets out in the wild, different things are used in different ways, okay? 901, 903, it's great. It's a beautiful mix, okay? And I know it doesn't sound like it should work, but it's a beautiful, beautiful mix. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you, babes. And that little bit of 80 for a certain age lady. It's lovely as a background colour. It's lovely as a tone. But it's lovely, particularly lovely in between the packets. Another tip that, when you're using Colourtouch and you're using it in between the packets of highlights. Okay, so you've got your highlights on. Liz, great to see you, babes. So you've got your background colour on in between, and you've got your highlights in between, and then you take out your packets and you rinse it. If you just rinse out the bleach and you rub the background colour that you have in between the packets, if you've done that particular technique, if you rub that into the highlights, it'll actually tone for you. So it's something, it's called emulsifying. It's not done that often, but it really, really works really, really well on a background colour. So if you're doing a background colour, a little bit of warm water, rinse out the bleach, because you don't want to rub the bleach through it because it'll lift the natural. You rinse out the bleach and then a little bit of warm water and emulsify it up. Usually 2 to 3 minutes is probably 2 to 5 is probably enough, depending on what your background was and what the level is. Obviously, you have to know which level it is, and take it from there, and it should. I think the signal went a little bit there. I'm sure we're okay. There's over 100 people on this tonight. Isn't that pretty amazing? Whoa, that's pretty awesome. So emulsifying works really, really well. 2 to 3 minutes, and you'll get that Colourtouch shine that you get. The Colourtouch shine that you get off that will penetrate into your highlights, and you will get a shine all the way through it. And when people say, oh, my blonde never shines, well, my blondes all shine. And you know why they shine? Because of Colourtouch. That's why they shine, because I emulsify every one of my blondes 2 to 3 minutes. You'll see it in all my posts. Emulsify 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, and it saves you on mixing up another toner a lot of the time. So give that a go. Let me know what you think. Tag me, but you'll get shine alone. Okay, you'll get shine. There's nothing shines like Wella. Well, the Wella family shines. Hi, Fallon. Great to see you on. Yeah, Sunday service. You can see there's one missing here. You know what I mean? I don't know where that is. I bet you it's in the Collison shade chart, all right? I bet you it's in the Collison shade chart. So on the above here, we have 7-1 and 5-1. I'll just go through them and then I'll go back into what ones I like. 916, 73, 63, 53, 635, 936, 637, 537. We've got the newbies then, 786, 996, 996, 986 and 786. These are very strong, very, very strong for toning. 916 is probably the most popular colour in the world for toning because it has the 6 which kills the yellow. And again, you can anchor it with an 8 if you need it a little bit darker, or you can mix it with a 10 if you need it a little bit more pastel. 916 is just, it's unbeatable. It's what you would call like an iconic product. I'd say, I couldn't be in a salon without it. So sorry, things falling apart there on me. Okay, right. So for background colours or for things that are cold, I really like 5-1 and 7-8-9. 5-1 and 7-8-9 mixed together gives you a beautiful, beautiful, cool, neutral brown. 5-1, 7-8-9. If it's really red and it's a really, really red brunette, 5-1 and 7-8-6. But again, it's really violet and you have to know what you're doing. You have to be able to choose. Hiya, Robert. How's it going? Good to see you on, bro. Great to see you on. 7-8-6 is strong and should be only used by the people. So I'll say hello to Robert there, guys. British Hairdresser of the Year and a total gentleman. An absolute gentleman. So there, that's the top ones then. And then on the bottom we've got 838, 28, which is the blue-black. Here's it again. 10-8-1 and 8-8-1, which they're probably 8-8-1 is probably the most used colour in my salon. 7-8-9, so there's the 7-8-9 and 5-1 are amazing together. 7-8-9 and 8-8-1 amazing together. 9-9-7 and 8-0 amazing together. 9-9-7 and 9-1-6 amazing. 7-9-7, which is obviously on the Colourtouch shade chart. And 5-9-7, which we're going to call the stone range, I think, right now. 8-8-1 is like I would order 12 to 15 tubes a week, every week, and we run out of it. We ran out of it this week. We always run out of it. You know what I mean? Because you can use it as a base break. You can use it as a tone. It's if you don't get there, it'll ash out your colour for you. You know, if you don't get to a level 9 like you want to, and you know, as much as everyone on the page or level 10, I mean, very few of us can get there most of the time. You know, so I'm just calling it the stone range, Marta, because of it's really christened it because Christine said it to me yesterday. It's like a stone brunette, and I was like, it actually is the 997. It's like a stone brunette. It's just a beautiful, 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 beautiful range. If someone could tag Eddie Sweeney there and just, because I want to ask him about the Bellini range, but there you go. Right, so 997 and all that type of stuff. So let's go through. This is a really colour that's La Beige, okay? La Beige. The official name is La Beige. She was calling it a stone brunette, which I quite like as well. So they're the beiges, but the 997s and the 797s are amazing for melting. You know, a 797 into a 997 will just give you the most beautiful melt. And your signal's playing up tonight. It's okay for me here, bro, but I'll just keep going. I'll keep going and see. So hopefully Sal's stay on, but it'll be there. La Beige. Oh, La Beige. La Beige. Okay, so that's the 786, the 986, and we'll go back over all these kind of as we go, okay? We'll go back over them because it's an immense range. I mean, there's no other demi range like it. Most of the demi ranges wash out in like 2 weeks. You know, a lot of the gel ones, they're gone. They're gone like in 2 weeks. Colourtouch lasts, but they're gone. So we're into the reds here. And as someone asked a question today, like, when would you use 4% and when would you use 1.9? 1.9 is the go-to, and if you want something more vibrant, if you want to give it more of a pop, particularly with the reds, 4%, okay? But 4% will expose more underlying pigments, which kind of creates the vibrancy as much as that. So to be aware that if you use 4%, it is going to open up the hair, but that's what gives you the pop and that's what gives you the vibrancy. I mean, there are times when I use 775 on natural base, and I will you made it live, Catty. How's it going? Welcome. I love champagne. I like to drink it. It gives me a bit of heartburn there, Salas, but I do like the rosé one, the kind of the rosé champagne. So if anybody wants to buy me a bottle, it's the expensive rosé one in the steel tin with all the flowers on it. That's the one to buy me. Don't be buying me the other stuff, the cheap stuff. That's the one. Eddie is on. Eddie, what is the Bellini range? Could you write it up for my wonderful Wella family here? There's over 100 of them on live tonight. So it's a big audience for you here. Hiya, Greg. How's it going? Hope you had a great holiday. Mary, how are you? Great to see you, Wella family. The Wella family is out tonight. I can feel it. Yes, I just wanted the Bellini range, Eddie. I wrote so many notes out and I forgot to write down the numbers. So I'm sorry for interrupting your dinner, Eddie. But if you could just write out the 4 Colourtouch shades you were so gracefully gave me this morning, I would be, so obliged. And then back to dinner with you, my young man. Back to dinner with you. United won, did they? The United won. Well done, Greg. I mean, well done. I heard it was a limp first goal, for a total bleach. Wouldn't you prefer a total bleach for Oxen? After a total bleach, definitely won't. Well, 1.9 will sink. Yeah, you know what I mean? 1.9 will sink and 4% is exposing. So if you've exposed the bleach already, Luca, I would definitely be going with 1.9. Okay? For me, I would definitely go with 1.9. And I particularly like relights after a bleach up, to be honest with you, Luca. And the thing is to close it down with your service, to use Blonde or Sealing Care before you tone, and that will equalise out the porosity and make your toner take perfectly. An awful lot of things go wrong in the preparation stage. They have everything done perfectly. They don't prepare the hair properly. And yeah. So I just have the little one downstairs. She's being very good. So that's a really good question, Luca. I would go 1.9. Okay, thanks, Eddie. 841 1034. You saw them all there, guys. They're all written up there for you. Fantastic. Eddie, you're an absolute gentleman, and Eddie's always so kindly takes my phone calls on a Sunday morning, because I'm so difficult for to find the time to get all this done. Sometimes you'll just have to make me a millionaire, guys, so that I can just do this full time, and then I won't it'll be fine. Do you regularly use Colourtouch? Before I use relights, I'll go right into relights, why I use it and when I use it. But I mean, if I want depth and tone, it's a really good question. It's a really good question. So if I want depth and if I want tone, if I want something to sink, you know what I mean? If I want to see tone sink, I will always go for Colourtouch. If I want something to just be toned and for no depth, so like if I want it to be a 10 and I want it to be toned and to stay at a 10, I would always go for relights. Because relights will deposit, but it doesn't drop in depth. There is no depth in relights. It's just pure tone. It would never go dark on you. Never, ever. But a lot of the time we need some depth and saturation. So 881 916 will probably be my go-tos. Thanks, Eddie. You're a gentleman. Mary, it's so great to see you on. I'm such a fan. I'm hoping I get to Los Angeles, because you're such a true Wella person, Mary, and that's why I tagged you today. You're such a true Wella person, and I hope I get to LA to meet you, because we're like, you've been with the company, and you're just a Wella person. There's so many, and I hope I get to LA to meet you at some time. I hope we do. So if you're gonna go for 4%, I think you should go for it when you're hitting the reds. Okay, thanks for putting that up, Eddie. And they will give you more vibrancy. They will expose pigment, okay? It's just science. Don't be blaming the product. It's just science, okay? A lot of the time, things are just science, and we need to accept science and then work with it, okay? They definitely Fallon, because they're pure, more so than deposit. They don't darken. I treat relights don't darken, Alison. They just deposit tone, so it's just pure tone. So if it was naked before you go, if it was a naked tone before you started to tone, it'll just deposit ash or deposit whatever you chose, but it won't. Yes, how you doing, Sugar? How you doing, Sophie? It won't darken. So, if you're looking for that depth and that tone, then you're better to go to Colourtouch. But we'll get back to that. Thanks, Eddie. Enjoy your dinner. Saw your new hat there during the week, Eddie. Very nice. I liked it. A lovely artist feel off it, Eddie. So, lovely artist feel. Okay, so we got 74, 64, 54, 843, which is a really popular one in our room. In our room, do you hear me? Our salon. 743. 644, unbelievable colour, that 644. I mean, it's got a hair show written all over it. That real hair show copper. Look at that bad boy. Oh, behave yourself. Look at that. That's like proper hair show. Then if you want a Ferrari red, like a Ferrari. And now I think I go 4% with a lot of these. God, this one's stuck on, I tell you. There we go. Look at that bad boy. Look at that. Woo! Imagine that on me with my pink skin. Do you think I could sell it? Okay, not really. Not really. One more time? Not really. Not for me. I'm afraid you'll have to go a bit cool there. You know, and then you got 647, and you got 747 and 647. Now remember that the depth creates the tone. So a 4 at 6 is a lot redder than a 4 at 7. And people get this mixed up an awful lot with colour. They go down and they think that the 647 will be the same as the 747. But a red at 6 is completely different than a red at 7. Okay? So don't expect them to look alike, because they don't. You know, they don't. 643 and 743 do not look alike. The amount of pigment at a level 6 is much higher in red than a level 7, because a level 7 is much higher in orange. Remember our curve? We do this stuff all the time. We're always learning. Remember that. Okay? Remember that. So your 647 will be much redder than your 747. Why? Because orange lives at 7. Yeah. And red lives at 6. Boom. Okay? Boom. Drops. Okay? Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, this is where people go a lot wrong when they're mixing colours. They think, oh, it's the same colour, just darker. But it's not. There's different pigments at each level, okay? Each level has different pigments. You know, a 5-4 and a 7-4 are completely different, yeah? Completely different. And the level of pigment at that level is completely different. So remember that when you're choosing your colours. Remember what lives at each level. And don't expect a 643 to be the same as a 743, just darker. It isn't. That's not how hair colour works, okay? Very important. Good tip from Uncle Andrew. 555, which is actually, Salas is amazing at these mahoganies. I love this colour. This is particularly good on girls with sallow skin tone. Actually, I could maybe rock it. It's particularly good on I think, Cypriot and Greek ladies and that side of the world. Salas nearly has introduced me to it. The 5s and the 6-5s and all that type of stuff. It's beautiful. Why do you struggle with the reds, Heathers? It's probably that, you know what I mean? Because like a level 6 is completely different than a level 7. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to really help. So now we're moving down. I have 2 5-5s there. Look, if a 5-5 and a 5-5, it's probably a typo. It's meant to be 6-5 maybe. So then we got double 5. Look at Nick Khan. DJ's mixing there. Look at him. A bit of 5-5 in with the 916. I haven't done that, Nick. He's got the cojones, that Nick fella. Okay, double 5-5-4. Again, it's one of those incredible. Exactly what I explained. Okay, Heather, but I'm glad I nailed it. Look at this bad boy. It's another like hair show, like winner chicken dinner. You can put that over. Hi Anthony, how's it going? You can put that over, you know, a bit of bleach bits and stuff like that. 5-5-4, and it's incredible. Then we got 4-5-6, which I love. I really love that dark mahogany colour on Asian hair. Hair that's naturally dark. I would recommend 4%. Because it'll open up the hair a little bit more for you, and you'll get a bit more pop in it. You know, you'll be able to see it a bit more. With the 5-7s or the 7-5s, sometimes I would use 4% with them, because I want to expose the underlying pigment. I want there to be vibrancy. You know, like you nearly think of it as the 1.9 drops and the 4% exposes. Yes? So think of it like that. So if you're doing red, sometimes 4% is the way to go for me. But again, think about what you're doing. You know, whether you want it to sink and to be deep, or whether you want it to be vibrant and exposed. I think I've explained that quite well. I hope I have. Here's the famous 10-6. I think Alison Kyo there from Dubai probably has put this on the map. Now see, the 6 really will suck up any yellow. You know, that's the underlying pigments. Yes, I mix a lot of I like a lot of blue as well. Hi Jared, how are you? There's Jared from Hairbrained on. If you don't follow Hairbrained, I was inspired by Hairbrained. I love Hairbrained. I love Jared. I love the guys. And if they want to give me an award, that's quite okay, Jared. I will accept it. Okay, that's all I'll say, Jared. If that comes around and you want to take care, you want to give me like, don't worry, Jared, I will accept it. But great to see you on, Jared. I'm a huge fan. I love what you do. Hairbrain guys are amazing and one of the true leaders in the online world that we are. So back to 10-6. You see that? So the 6 tends to soak up, you know, if there's a little bit of yellow left in the hair, which there always is, because like hair is made from keratin and there's always a little bit of yellow left. The 6 sort of sucks up the yellow and you get a sort of a clean white result. So a lot of people now, if you have no yellow left in the hair at all, it will give you a violet result. You will get that pink. But if you have a little bit of yellow left, like 9-1-6 and 10-6 is absolutely amazing. And maybe Alison here, Alison will give you, go have a listen to Alison there, because Alison is an absolute expert at 10-6. So she's going 3/4 10-6 and a quarter 7-4-3. Woo! I mean, there's no messing with that. The girl from Dubai, she's here's Nick. Nick 10-6 and 10-8-1. I love 10-6 in the ends of hair. It just cleans it out. And remember, the 6 is more for the yellow than it is to be. Look at Sophie there throwing in the 7-8-9. You know, there's some mixologists on tonight, some serious mixologists. Chantel, I love that one. 10-6 and 9-9-7, absolute beaut. My one of my favorite melts is 7-8-9 and 8-8-1 into 10-8-1 and 10-6. Stop it. You're not my... I am your type, Alison. I'm everyone's type, all right? I'm everyone's type. You'd think you were waking up there to what's his name from the Snapper, you know? That's who I'm like. You know what's his name who played the actor? I love him. You know, he's such a dub. I love him. You love the 3/8s. 10-6 and a little bit of 5-6-6. There's some amazing. Now, that's a beauty there from Alison. 10-6, 10-8-1, 10-0 is Snow White. And it actually is, because in those proper mixes, you're getting the 10-8-1 to deposit. The 10-6 will take care of the yellow. And the 10-0 will pastelize both of them out. See, that's just a well thought out formula. And it's very important to think about your levels and what lives at each level. Don't expect a 6 to be the same as a 7. Don't expect what tingles your mingles is what's your fave. What's my fave? I'll go through my faves when I'm finished there. I'm listening to all you wonderful hairdressers here online. It's amazing. Loads of stroke 6-6. In what way, Jane? How do you use the stroke 6-6? Because I'm interested, you know. Nick's there banging up. He's probably had about 3 coffees now. Nick's now knocking them out. Okay, so we're here at 4-6, which is like a beautiful damson. Again, I would recommend with the 4s. That's with the 4 levels. I tend to go with 4% because I want to expose the underlying pigments. You know what I mean? You know that's and again, this is probably one of my most favorite colors of all time. It's cool and it's warm. Someone there elucidated there earlier that they always add a little bit of blue in with their mixes. Because I think it was Sophie, because it sorts out the underlying pigment, and she's true. Equal amounts of each. There, look at that. 5-5-6-5. I used that for my Colourtouch Trend Vision that I won in 2009. And I only did it once, and I glazed it before I did the competition. And it was like, the Irish final, the UK final, and then the world final. And I only did the technique once. I just glazed that. That's how good the products are. But that is just incredible. Yes, Sophie gave a great tip there about just with these colours where they're cool and they're warm with the 6-5, they do tend to deal with the underlying pigment really well. And yeah, if you use 4%, as Salah said there, if you use 4% with 5-5-6-5, it takes off like a rocket. You know, if you want it deeper and heavier and a bit more blue and you don't want to have to deal with underlying pigment, go with your 1.9. You know what I'm saying? God, there's lots on this night. Go with your 1.9, okay? But 4% if you want that vibrancy and you want to reveal the underlying pigment. And remember, at level 4, what lives there, you know, it's a really heavy red. So it'll only help your look. Do you know what I mean? I always try to marry both of them. Then you got 4-4-6-5, which is beautiful. Hiya Bridget, how are you? Good to see you on. You love them all, Elizabeth, you love them all. We're all watching around the dinner table. What are you eating? Matthias, how are you, sir? Does Matthias do the most amazing magma? And Matthias, I have to say, the way you back home, it's so elegant. You know what I mean? I'm back home and I'm not elegant at all. I'm not. I'm like a platypus or something. And but I watched Matthias's the other day, and he just had the most beautiful back home walking up. He's like ballet, Matthias. I have to say, gorgeous. Love your post, man. He's been admin since day one. You know, I have his back. He has mine. Love you, Matthias. Great to see you on. So stroke 566 and 366. You can mix these to get 466, and they're really violet. They're lovely. They're gorgeous. Okay, they're gorgeous. And again, I like 4% with nearly all these along here. You know, and I hope you know. What are you eating? You don't have to know what you're eating. I'm dying to know what they're eating. You know, I'm dying to know. I know what I'm having for dinner later. You know what I mean? Because I'm on the diet. You know what I mean? So dinner, I sort of go a bit mad. It's fun to watch those back homes. He's a fabulous back homer. Beautiful. 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 I immediately found myself like doing it a little bit better because I was watching. Yeah, 5565 is one of my favourite colours. Hiya, Sarah. Welcome to the family. Welcome. Yeah, it's not like you to be on late. You love 368. We don't have 368 here, bro. I don't think so. So now we're up into the brunettes, okay? The brunettes. So we have 77, which I love, with a little bit of 034 in the mixed tone. I just think it's beautiful. 67. 871. I love 871. Sarah, great to see you. I love 871 and 901 mixed together to give you that real dusty brunette. It's lovely as a background colour. 671. Remember again that the 671 is completely different than the 871. You know, because it's a different level. And the 471. And what lives at those levels. And then 9. I'm sure we could make it, Brittany. I bet you we could sit here and we could make it in a few minutes. Yeah, Nick's like a DJ, you know. I want the sparkling warm level 7. I do use. I rarely use 4% at 7, Sophie, but I probably should at times. You know, now that you're saying it. But I wouldn't like it. Like the choosing of your developer is just as important as choosing as your colors, and what's in the developers these days is just as important as what's in the color. People seem to think that hydrogen peroxide is the only ingredient. Hydrogen peroxide is part of what's in the bottle, okay? Hiya Lee, how's it going the Dre way? Hiya Kerry. That what lives, what's in the bottles these days, and the way they couple onto the dye molecules, and the dye molecules of demis are completely different than the dye molecules of permanents. So people just thinking that peroxides are all the same. They just aren't. It's like saying all wines are the same. They're just not. Okay, they're all made from grape, yes, but they're not all the same. Okay, so like they're not even close. Some of them are very, they'll all get you jarred, that's for sure. They'll all get you jarred, but they won't all bring out the best in the grape. And the same with developers. So please use the dedicated developers, because there's scientists who are working night and day to try and make that product work the best for you. So the Colourtouch 1.9, that's why you use it. It's got way more in the bottle than hydrogen peroxide, let me tell you. Okay? The new peroxides are amazing, and most of the developments that will come going forward on top of new dye molecules will come in the bottles as a way to transfer the dye molecules, and the dye molecules again are completely different in demis than they are in permanents. So the days of people thinking it was all just the same and just mixing base colours, and colour is just amazing these days, and you can get the best out of it if you just follow what we're saying here. Stuff like Sunday Service really changes it. Look at, there's Nick Khan, 566, 28 and 066. Is that over bleached hair, Nick, or natural hair? And is that with 4%? I mean, that's a hell of a mix there, bro. You're going to have to give us a bit more than that. Nick's had a lot of coffee, and he's probably on he's vaping for Ireland there. Yeah, you're vaping for Ireland, I know by you. Does well have acidic colours. It does, Dana. It's called Relights, and I'm coming to it, so give me a chance. I'm coming to it. Relights is an acidic demi range. Okay, so let's go through the brunettes. So 7767, 871, 671, 471, and 973. 973 is an absolute beautiful colour. Again, I would highly recommend 973 anchored with a little bit of 80, particularly halfway through. Jane, we're all with you. We're all with you, babes. We know. And it's going to be a good natural who wants to go black, but it's more expensive and less gothic. Okay. And how many vapes have you had now, Nick? You know, I need to get you on camera one of these mornings, Nick. You know, we'll have to get you up early and get you into makeup and hair and get you all sorted. And we'll have to get you on camera. Or we'll have to get you to do something during the week for us or something. I don't know. But, yeah, you know, we'll work it out. So 973, I love. 973 and 871, beautiful. 973 and 80, beautiful. The best hairdressers in the world. Yes, we do. We got some of the best hairdressers in the world on here. It's terrific. So then again, we go down to 873, and the same thing again. What lives at 9 and what lives at 8 is a completely different colour. So if people think that 873 and 973 are the same, just a little bit darker, absolutely not. Okay, they're completely different. Completely different level, completely different under pigment deposit. Okay, now 973, if you have any type of blondes that are a bit like, you know, they're just a bit greeny looking or something like that. They're just not, you know, it could be water, it can be just too much overtoning. You know, you can do it, Jane, we're all with you. Too much overtoning. 973 will do a multitude there for you. And you remember, it'll soak up all them and it'll just give you a lovely beige. Diana, you can get this colour book from a Wella rep or from Wella store or from Wella. Okay, you won't get it in the shop, I don't think. 773, again the 7 brunette. 673, completely different colours, just more than different levels. 573, and then one of my favourites, 775, 675, 575. Okay, mixed tones, yes, yeah, two righty here. You're gas, Alison. You're gas. You're always giving out to me, Alison, but you come out with some crackers. Righty here, like, I mean, listen to you, and that's a cracker, like. The North American book is different. Is it as nice as my one? I'm not quite sure. A lot of these books were made by a gentleman called John Commander, and he's sometimes on the page. So, John, thanks very much for a lot of these. They're terrific. So, 775 is beautiful. I do sometimes, as I say, 775 at 1.9 is a completely different colour than 775 at 4%. Completely different. Because the underlying pigment at 7 is orange. Remember that? So by using a 4%, you're revealing the orange and you get a much more sort of copper caramel. It's really quite strong. It's absolutely beautiful. I'd highly recommend it. Okay? But if you're looking for the proper caramel, then go with 1.9. So this is when you know when to use 4%, okay? It's when you want it vibrant and when you want to reveal the underlying pigments, okay? But if you don't want to do that, and most of the time, there she is again. Most of the time, we don't want to do it 1.9. I would say I go for 1.9 90% of the time, and the 10% is mostly with the reds. So there's Nick with 775, 916 and a drop of 4465. That's fairly full on. Hi Lisa Marie, how are you? Okay, so again 675, a completely different colour because it lives at that tone. 775 and 916, Catherine, is a beautiful toner. Beautiful toner, sexy. Riley reminds me of Dublin so much. Okay, I want to skip a page. Okay. I do say everything twice, don't I? I'm not Johnny 2 times. This is the Colourtouch Plus, okay? Colourtouch Plus, they say, covers up to 80%, but in my experience on fine hair, it covers 100%, okay, on fine hair. It has a little bit of ammonia, and it covers grey seriously effectively. And if you have that type of client that, he's just looking for good coverage and good saturation, and you're not looking for that heavy tonality there, that real the tone that you're looking for a permanent colour, you're just looking for same depth as a demi. You want to continue on that road. She wants to stay with a demi. Thanks, Kobe. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Johnny 2 times. Yeah, that's what I'm going to. Do you want me to go get the papers? Get the papers. You remember from Goodfellows, Alison? Do you remember Johnny 2 times? Yeah, a friend of mine, Niall, called me that, and I thought, yeah, he nailed it. I couldn't not say that he didn't nail it. He did. Mr. Colgan, he nailed it. So here we are. We have 8803, 7703, 6603. So these all cover grey with some gold. 6604, which is particularly beautiful. 5504, which gives you a lovely bit of warmth. And one that's highly underused, but I'd really recommend, is 5505. It looks a bit scary, but you have to trust the process. It gives you a beautiful, deep mahogany brown. Now, these won't reveal lightness. They're all about coverage. 4406, 8807. 8807 is the most used colour. That's okay. We'll see you later. We'll see you later, Liz. Okay, 8807 is probably our most used colour, you know, because you can go up and you can go down. You can mix it with 7707, then 6607, 5507, and 4407. All of these cover grey. They're intermixable with their own. Okay, they have a slight bit of ammonia in them, and in my experience on fine hair, they cover 100%. You do have to be careful with your application because they do sink. They are deep, and if you overlap, you can get darkness. So you have to apply them properly, apply them well. They're absolutely beautiful, and for people who don't want to have a permanent colour and they just want to stay with demi ranges, which is an awful lot of clients. They're really, really terrific, and they can be great as a background in between highlights as well. They have their own dedicated peroxide, their own 4%. Use it. Remember what I said earlier. Not every bottle of wine is the same. Not every peroxide developer is the same. The developer made for Colourtouch Plus is made for Colourtouch Plus, and the dye molecule couplers are different in Colourtouch Plus than they are in Colourtouch. Okay, so they're not meant to be intermixable for that reason. Okay, the mixed tones. Okay, the mixed tones. I will see this at hair shows. I will see this as I'm judging the Trend Vision in London and in Manchester and in Bristol and in Dublin and the north, the south, and Scotland. I don't think am I going to Scotland this year? I'm not quite sure. But I will see 088. Yeah, I'm fine here to cover grey 100%. Like 80, I'm sure if it's thick and wiry. But like, I mean, for most people, if they're just looking for depth and they're just looking for coverage, then Colourtouch Plus is the one. And that question about Colourtouch Plus was Karen Coventry. Yeah, Karen, you asked me that question earlier. So I'm sure if you're wrong, Karen, thanks for that question. Now, these mixed tones are hugely popular, particularly with hair shows and stuff like that. I use the Stroke 3-4. I mix it with so much. I put a drop of that even in with 973. I put it in with 77. I put it in with 775. I put it in with 54. I put it in with 6-7. I always put a little bit of that in. Does Colourtouch Plus have its own peroxide? It does, Nicola. They all have their own peroxides, and most of the magic is in the developers. 50% of it these days. So yeah, they have their own developers. So this one I use with my brunettes quite a lot. Okay, it's a red, but it has a red label around it. I might bring home all the peroxides, but do take in mind what I'm saying. Hydrogen peroxide is an ingredient. It isn't what's just in the bottle. Okay, there's an awful lot more, and magic goes in. Just sit down and talk to one of the scientists, and you'll be blown away. Okay, so 034 I use for my brunettes an awful lot. 056 I use, hiya Joe, I use that an awful lot in with my reds and stuff like that. Sometimes I just want to cool them down, or I'll put a little bit. If I feel I want a really cool dark red, I'll use Stroke 68. But you know, over bleach ups and stuff like this, you'll get the most incredible colour from using these, particularly for hair shows and stuff like that. I mean, 088, this put on a level 9, level 10 bleach up is actually just, I could nearly rock that, couldn't I? I could nearly, look at that with my eyes, look. You fell in love with me there for a minute, didn't you? You just all, hiya Roxana, you all fell for me there for a minute, didn't you? Look with my eyes, look. I'm meant to be blue black. Elvis Presley. Anyone ever rock a blue black better than Elvis Presley? You know, anybody? 1.9 and 4% makes it creamy. Anybody ever? So the developers in Willoxon are designed for bleach and they're designed for Colliston, but the Colourtouch ones are designed for Colourtouch. Okay, so if you're doing a bleach up and you want to create a blue, okay, you want to create. But look, Brittany, you fell for me straight away, didn't you? Look into them. You fell into those oceans, didn't you? Couldn't help yourself. 088 881 and 108. Beautiful Marta. Marta's in there with a cracking mix. 566. But you know, just that alone, in the right hair, you know, will give you that hair show blue. You know, that you'll be able to see it under the light. You'll be able to see it. You know, just standing there. I should be blue, shouldn't I? I should be blue. I'm gonna do it one more time, Lisa. I mean, I should. Elvis, do you remember Elvis's? I mean, I'm not too old to have a blue black, am I? Look at that. Look at that. And it cools me skin down something else, doesn't it? I'm the colour of a sausage tonight. I go from different levels of sausage, you know what I mean? I go from a pink sausage to a red sausage. But I'm always a little bit pink, you know? I should be so blue. I should be. That's why I wear blue a lot, you know what I mean? Anyway, you have to have a laugh, don't you? You have to have a laugh, particularly at yourself. This is Sunlights. This reveals the underlying pigment a lot on people's hair. But very, very popular with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee wore a beautiful, actually, blue black. You're right, Nick. You're right. But was it as cool? You could turn into a rapper. Your reception's playing you twice. Makes you... Okay. Okay, my reception's in and out, is it? Ocean Eyes. Thanks, Angie. Ocean Eyes. This is meant to lighten the underline. It's meant to lighten your base. So if you use these, expect it to fade warm, and expect the underlying pigment to be exposed. You know, but for people who want to give their hair a little bit of an underlying pigment lift, Sunlights is the way to go. But it will expose the underlying pigment when you're using it, and to be aware of that. Okay? So if you just want to, you know, so this is the type of thing you're going to get on a level 8. This is the underlying pigment that will come up. And this is the type of thing you're getting a level 6. So sometimes people just want to give it a slightly sunlightened feel. Okay? Hi, Michelle. Did you just find me? I don't know where. I was wondering where you were. So there's an awful lot we don't have. You know, I don't use it a lot because in Irish hair we've an awful lot of red, so the underlying pigment will just come out screaming at you. So I tend, if I'm looking for a bit of a base break, I'll use 881. You know, you're perfect in Leeds, am I? Leeds, what a football team! What a football team, Leeds. A few friends have followed them. What's a good mix for an ice blonde? Over what level, Diana? What level, babes? An ice blonde, 1081, 1081 on its own. You don't need them, Brittany. You can make it with Colourtouch. So now we're on to relights. Okay, so what relights is pure tone and no depth. So what that means, if you put it on, tell you, we're on an hour already of notes here. You know, every week, Sunlights is perfect for cleaning out all the highlights. Tracy uses that. Your voice, yeah, I'm a bit bassy today, haven't I? I'm a bit bassy. But relights is all tone and no depth. So if you put a relights on a level 10, it'll tone the level 10, but it won't darken the level 10. So if you put it on a level 8, it won't darken the level 8, but it will tone the level 8. Okay, you need to get that. It's quite a lot to take in because nothing else works like that. And this is the acidic. It's pH acidic, so it does not disturb the underlying pigment under no circumstances. Once it's mixed, it's pH acidic, and it doesn't disturb the underlying pigments. So whatever level you put it on, that's the level it stays. Okay, that's very important. So if you were to use a relights on the roots of a high lift, say, and you got it to a level 9, and it was still a bit warm, and you were to use 8.6 on it, because there's a lot of yellow in it, the yellow would counteract with the 8.6 and create a beige, because at a level 9 it won't give you a nice blonde. It's all, you can always tone, you can only create the tone based on the level of the lift. So many people be looking, like if you're looking for a nice blonde, it's fine, it has to be level 10 or else it won't be ice. If it's level 9 it'll be beige. Once you put ash on it, the ash will react with the yellow and it will create a beige, and you will get a beautiful beige blonde, which is amazing. But you won't get an ice blonde. The only thing that creates the tone is the lift, not the toner. Some toners will push hair and make them lift a little bit more if they're high in ammonia content, but on the average toner it's about the lift, okay, and then the toner. So yeah, you know, it's I wanted to jump on this, but catch the replay, no problem. Keep losing the signals, we'll watch later. Great to hear from you, Teresa. I hope you're enjoying your retirement. I still see you're keeping your foot in there, doing other things. Can you publish a picture of you? We don't have that. I did it last week, Luke. If you watch last week's Sunday service, I had it on it. But I will definitely post you a picture of the underlying pigment of it. Do you have 8.6 Colourtouch? No, we don't have 8.6 Colourtouch. We don't, not that I know of. We could have one on the way, but not that I know of. But 6 is not really that strong a pigment at level 8. I don't know if it would make a lot of difference at level 8. It would be great to tone on a level 10, but if you're actually using it at level 8, I don't know if it would do the job. I'd have to ask one of the scientists, really, you know. Okay, but Luke, I will definitely publish that for you, sir. I'll get it in the salon on Tuesday and I'll publish it for you. So here's the different relights. We have 00, we have 03, we have 06, which just gives you a lovely just pink salmon. It's gorgeous. We have 18 and 8.6. These are the most popular. And will give you a nice blonde, you know, and not dark. Then you have 7.4, you have 3.4, 4.3, 4.4, 4.7, 5.6 and 5.7, and then there's 7.4 here, but I don't know why we don't have it there. Now originally Relights was brought out to tone after magma, you know, because magma would fade after. It'll tone in all depths. Yeah, it'll tone in all depths, Angie, but it won't darken. So if you put it on a 6, you won't see it because it's too dark. But if you put it on an 8, like the 1.8 will beige out. So I've had issues sometimes with, you know, tints that I wanted to get to a certain level of lift, and I've used 9 and 12%, and I've got my 3 or 4 shades, and the underlying pigment was stronger than I thought, and I was left with a really warm result. Say like a 10, 8 and 12%, or a 9.16 and 9%, and I just didn't judge the underlying pigment properly. Maybe the texture of the hair was wrong, and I just didn't see, you know, we all do it, you know what I mean? It's called being a colourist, you know what I mean? And in that situation, if I've needed to take the heat out of the root, and I'm really happy with the result, but I want it to be a bit beiger, I will use stroke 8.6 or stroke 1.8, and it will beige out. It'll just beige it out. All it'll do is tone, it won't darken. Okay, tone, it won't darken. So if you put it on a level 10, it stays a level 10. So if you're looking for a root smudge, or if you're looking to create a bit of depth at the root and get a bit of a root shadow out, Relights is not for you. You put Relights on the ends then and put your Colourtouch on the root. That'll give you a shadow of saturation, and Relights will come out. I'm pretty good talking tonight, haven't I? I wonder why, but I'm pretty on it tonight, guys, I think. Let me know, am I okay? I sound like I know. Hiya Sinead, how are you? Good to see you on. Great to see the Romanian team up in the Dublin studio this week. I heard they were really well taken care of, and I'm looking forward to going to Romania in October, I think it is. I'm there for 3 days. I can't wait, and I'm going to bring all you guys with me on my phone, and you'll get to see all the amazing hairdressers in Romania, like Lucian, and there's just so many. It's terrific. Okay, so it's good. It's good. So I'll give you now where we really use them, okay? We really, so on copper tints, okay, it's particularly if you have to use a 9% and you have to get that lift and you get the underlying pigments, you do feel at 9% that the tint might fade quickly, okay? So if the tint might fade quickly, I'm going to go through Instamatics now, Salis, on a copper head, then, so say after the tint, we will use this 3.4. Now you see a lot of the coppers that I put up from my main man Rob Holben, who's just back from Canaries. He had a week away. He's coming in now with his new. He'll have his tan on him tomorrow. I won't recognise him. So we would do, say, like, I'll just pull a colour out. So we'll just say 843 and 9%. And it gives me a beautiful orange result. But I know in my mind it's going to fade quickly because I've used 9%. And I've had to get the lift. Instead of bleach, I've just gone in and used colour. You don't always have to use bleach. People are just, I don't know. It's this phase will have to, it's this Instagram, and the phase will have to go. You know, you use colour to get results a lot of the time. Then if you put a stroke 3-4 over it, stroke 3-4, you're off shopping. Yeah, the Wella people in Geneva will be delighted to hear that now. You're off shopping. Where are you coming? Where are you coming here? When are you coming here? Alison, it didn't, and nobody got back to me about Dubai, you know what I mean? So Romania got back, so I jumped on Romania, you know what I mean? So but don't worry, when I get there it'll be you and me, babes, okay, when I get there. But I just jumped on Romania because I think the standard of hairdressing in Romania is terrific, and I have to see Lucian's Academy. I mean, I just have to. He's such a good friend, and he's a new dad. I have to see his new babino. Hiya, Carol, how are you? Hi, Amanda. So if you're going over a copper, particularly on a level 8, and you feel it's going to fade quickly, because, you know, colours fade, particularly the way people don't, you know, they don't always listen to us and use the right products. The stroke 3-4 is amazing over coppers like that. You just put it on, and I want to use relights on my red. So on your reds, I'd need to see a picture, Michelle, to be honest with you, but if you listen, you might get through. You used to live in Lancashire. Okay, would you ever come to Dallas? Like all it takes is a huge amount of money, and I can go anywhere. Okay, it's all it takes. Okay, it's not a problem. I can go anywhere. I just need the dough. Once the dough arrives, I'm there. It's not a problem. Bring the family with me. It's not a problem. So if you want me there, the only thing we need to make that happen is the dough. Okay. So if you're looking for a bit more of a red copper, you know, if you're looking for a bit more of a red copper, and you're doing those type of coppers like a 747 or a 743 instead of a 34. Hiya, Lisa. This one is looking, it's just stunning. Again, great for hair shows. Lisa, great to see you on. You're such a great member. You're loving this Sunday service. Yes. I think it'll be all hair tonight. I don't think I'll be going into my spiritual stuff tonight, guys. You know, Karen, I think I'll have to do a separate Sunday service where it's all about like personal development and spirituality, and then we'll have to just do one on hair now at this stage. You know what I mean? I have to do a separate one, I think. Karen, my home girl from Cork, if you're still on, tell me what you think about that, because, you know. So here's the 4-3. Okay, it is on fire. So imagine if you put that over your copper tints. I always charge an extra 60 or 80 euro for that result, and our coppers never fade, and our clients always come back. 4-4. So if you're going over a 4-5, or I can't wait to go to Romania. A 4-4, it gives you that Ferrari red. Incredible, particularly over 744 9%. And then if you want something deeper, this one's stuck. There we go. The 4-7. Okay, it's just has that little hint of brunette, and we know that brunette is a warm neutral that is in the center of the color circle. Warm neutral 7. Stroke 1 is the ash neutral. Ash neutral. And stroke 7 is the warm neutral. Okay, and then the other one, this is amazing over purple tints or over stuff like that. It's the 5-6. It's absolutely gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? It is just gorgeous. And a lot of the time, I think people should go for relights instead of going for vivids. I just think they last longer. They close down the hair. They're pH acidic. They just do everything. That's what she said last night. Oh, I can't. That's one of my favourite sayings. You know, that's one of my favourite sayings, Alison. Instamatics. These have to go on level 10s, really, okay? And I do think you do need to use 4% with them, okay? Personally, I think you need to have that. Hi, Leonie. I haven't spoke to you in ages. Great to see you. Hiya, Karen. How's it going? So, these are absolutely beautiful. The Weller family Romania, I'm dying to see them. I'm dying to see them. Love the 5.6. I missed the 5.6 and Magma. Yeah, in Magma, I missed the 3.4 in Magma, but I'll be honest with you, Nick, I still have a bottle of it. So when they were discontinuing it, I bought 12 bottles of it. Imagine, 12 bottles, and I still have one left that I use. Do you know what I mean? And then I think you can make it, isn't it, with 4.4 and stroke 3.3. But like, I still have a bottle of stroke 4.3, would you believe? Hiya, Crystal, how are you? So the Instamatics, you see them here, they're absolutely beautiful. And they don't, now they're pastels, you know, so you're putting them on a level 10. That's okay. I'm in and out, so it's okay, Karen. It's okay. They're very handy for creative colour. Any chance Quella might relaunch this stroke 3.4? You never know, Jane. We talked about it tonight. I think I loved the stroke 3.4 in Magma. It was absolutely awesome. But anyway, these are meant to go on a level 10. You can put them on a level 9. I would recommend using 4% because I think you need to have the vibrancy. They won't do much. They won't do a lot on natural hair. You can see what they do down here on each level. Okay, so there's a 10. That's what you can expect over highlighted hair. There's a 9. And so they're like nail varnish. They're like a gloss. Do you know what I mean? They're like the gloss. We need laughs, don't we? Okay, they're like a gloss. I always loved the mint green. I just loved it, and I love the blue. The Ocean Storm on level 9 is it actually won't come out that blue. It'll again, the blue will react with the yellow, and you'll get a really nice ash. You know what I mean? Because everything is about the level and the underlying pigment you're putting hair on. It isn't really about the product at all. It's more about the level of lift and the underlying pigment. So many people on the page ask for toners, and they don't even put up a picture of the hair they're doing, and it's not possible. You'd pick a toner based on the level of lift you've achieved and the underlying pigment that's in the hair. Nothing else. Not based on other people's pictures, not based on what you like. It's based on what's in front of you, okay? And the quicker you learn that, the better your work becomes, because you become really, really good at it then. It does contain a small amount of ammonia. So that's basically the range. We're not too bad. That's basically the range right there. So for melting, and what melting is, a lot of people ask these questions, what melting is. Melting is using darker colour on the root into a lighter colour on the ends and merging the two of them together to create a more dimensional feel after highlights. Okay, so melting, it would be quite popular to melt from a level 7 into a level 9, or a level 8 into a level 10, or a level 6 into a level 8. I don't recommend going much darker than that, because you won't. It will take permanently on your highlights. But you'll see an awful lot of the inspiration pictures that are on Instagram and stuff like that, where they're really extreme. They're not based on real client behind the chair reaction. So I think going below a level 6, it can be really quite dangerous, and you could leave a client trying to grow that out for a year and a half. So make sure that your decision making is based on the client in the chair and what they need, and not on what you want to achieve, because you may achieve that really smoky charcoal black grey, but then you won't be able to get that out of the hair. No, not easily. And you could put her in so much trouble for just one look, that you could have created a smokiness at that level of 6, which would have faded out. So just to be aware of that if you're putting something like that, just to be aware of that. But that's what melts are. People were asking about repigging at the same time. With Colourtouch, you can add a little bit of mixed tone, or you can add a little bit of colour in to your colour, and you don't have to repig necessarily. It obviously depends on the texture of the hair and the condition. So I do that quite a lot. So if I'm doing over bleached hair, I will use like 7.7 and I'll put some 0.34 in, and the 0.34 will take on the bleach and then give me a proper 7.7 result. So I sort of naturally repig all types of hair that is a little bit compromised or a little bit dry or heavily faded, I use stroke 3-4 as my go-to, or a little bit of 6-4, or a little, is my go-to. Without a bleach bath, I did not even drink wine. I did it. Amazing, Salas. I'd love to see it, bro. Amazing. Richard, how are you? Is it like yeah? The 8-1 is beautiful. Brittany, that's a really nice mix. That's a nice mix. Anything with a little bit of blue on the reds just will obviously the blue will go in and deal with your underlying pigment and then give you a clean red result. Remember what the levels, like Brittany is saying there, that the level 6, what lives at level 6 is a red orange. So you're going to need a little bit of blue to kill that red orange. You understand what I mean? And then you'll get a 6-4 result. If you don't, you'll get hot roots because you haven't used something to deal with the underlying pigment. It's rarely the product. It's usually our diagnosis is not on the button. How about pre-toning? There's a list of pre-pig and pre-toning. 1081 is really popular for pre-toning. I never really have pre-tone a lot, but 916 and 106 is very popular for pre-toning, Karen. It depends, again, it has to be based on what's in front of you on the basins, but 1081 and 881 and 916 are probably the go-to to pre-tone before your proper tone if you have a little bit of yellow left in it, and you want to take that out before you tone. But the 8-1s are probably the most popular. The 1-6 will beige it out. But again, it depends on it depends on what you're doing. And if you're if you are going in with, say Instamatic, you might be to like a 10-6 would be great, before you were going in and doing a smoky amethyst, say, before you were going in, if you were using, so 10-6 before that would be amazing. 10-8-1 would be amazing before that. 10-6 and 916 would be great before that. And then the little bit of 8-1s would be great before that. Really good question, actually. A really, really, really good question. If there's too much yellow and if you're using a pastel, if you're trying to create a pastel and you don't have the right level, it won't look pastel, because the idea is that it looks a little bit see-through, How much do I put in? I just put a drop. I think it's 1/16 I put in, Chantel. It's about 1/16 of, so it'd be like 2 grams. I think it would be like about that 2 grams or stuff like, yeah. It'd be about 2 grams, I'd say I would put in. It's usually about 1/16 of a tube I put in, but it depends. I'm looking, sometimes on the hair I put a lot more in because it's so faded and it's so old, You have gone, it's okay, I'm back again. Yeah, no, I'm back. It's okay, Alex. It's okay. That was just a quick signal overload. When a certain amount of people are on live, if it goes over a certain number, I'm back. I'm back in the game. Yes, I'm back in the game. So melting, my favorite melts. I really like 997 or 797 into 997. I love that. A warmer one, I like 77 into 973. I like 775 into 973. I love 881 into 916. I love 881 into 106. I love 881 into 1081. It's just a beautiful, clean, ashy tone, and it just takes away the lines. You see how much we love you. Yeah, I thought it was my internet. No, that was me here, I think. Yeah, because I could see it on the screen going. The signal was in and out. It could be my little one downstairs. She could be on the YouTube doing dancing or something. It could be her as well. You do your best to keep them off, but you can't expect to stay off. So Gloria asked a question about toning, and she feels sometimes it can go darkener. And again, that's a really good question, but that's sometimes that's just about adding a little bit of 10-0 in with your mix, and sometimes you just haven't got the lift you need, or sometimes the mix isn't right. You do need to mix 2-1, particularly with your melts. Yeah, I think with any pastels, it's a very good question. I think pre-toning, if you're doing a pink or a blue or a pastel or any type of Instamatics, pre-toning is probably a must really for it. Otherwise the pastel is just going to neutralize the yellow, and you'll be left with a flat result. It's very hard to create a pastel perfectly, because you have to have a clean level 10 canvas, and if you don't have the tone will always will always neutralise what's on the head, so the blue will be disappear into the yellow, or that type of thing. So many people think it's them, but they are difficult to do and they are difficult to achieve, and an awful lot of it. A level 7 or a level 6 can go down. But see, again, talking about what I said earlier, Marta, is to understand that a 647 is a hugely redder colour than a 747 because of the level. So if you use a 6, the dye load at a 6 is much heavier than the dye load at a 7. So do not expect them to be the same, just a little bit darker. That's just not how colour works. It is not at all how colour works. The red pigment will be much heavier in level 6 and will deposit completely differently. So when you're... Have to go to bed, Alison. That's fine, Alison. Keep it real, babes. You sleep well, love. Peace, power, peace, power. You sleep well. Well, sorry there, I lost my concentration. That's a thing to understand, that when you're that the level you choose, that the level of dye load at that level will have a so if you go down, if you use like a 5-1 and a 789, the dye load from the 5-1 is going to be a lot heavier than it would be at a 7. So if you use the 7-1 and a 781, the dye load would be much lighter because it's based around a level 7, which is an orange. But there's the 5-1 is based around a red. So it's a completely different dye load. It's just completely different. So you can't expect it to be, hiya Don, you can't expect it to be the same, So when you go darker, then you are dealing with different dye loads. You know what I mean? So that's very that's really important, and the most important thing that we dealt with so far. That's I think that more than anything else is very important. My other favourite melts, 5-1 and 789 into 916. I love that. I love 916 and 106 mixed together. I love that as well. So they're all, and the repig, I just like to use a little bit of stroke 3-4. That's my favourite. There is a repig Colourtouch list which I will put up after this here, and it's each level of repigmentation you can do before you use Colourtouch, and I have the list there on the phone, and I will put it up afterwards on this. You can only when you stay on to a certain length of time, like this length of time, that's the length of time people have concentration for. So I won't stay on too much longer after this, because you can tell that people are. And I have lots of different stuff to tell you about tonight, but I can always have next week, don't we? And we always have the week after, and we always have the week after. Do you pre-lighten to do these melts? Yeah, I always do highlights before a melt, because on natural hair, it's not going to, if you put it on with 4% to reveal the underlying pigmentation, it's going to go warm. So the idea of a melt is to bring all your different highlight techniques together via a melt. So if you did like a back comb weave, you did a zigzag, you did baby lights, and you had all these packets and everything everywhere, and then you just wanted to take all the lines away, you would use like a 797, which will take any lines or any movements away. And the queen of melts is Jane Wallace there. Her video will have a lot about melting on it. She's amazing at melts. And it will bring the techniques that you've done on the ends, and it'll bring it all together. It's okay, Lucy, get those kids to bed. It'll bring everything together for you. You know what I mean? It'll bring it'll bring all your techniques together. And it'll give you a gloss, and it'll give you a shine, and it'll deposit on your highlights, and I ever with Colliston? I do on certain times, but to understand that if you are melting with a permanent colour, it can lighten the natural base. So if you are putting it on somebody who's a level 7, say, and you put on a 7 and it's a permanent colour, expect it to lighten her underlying pigment, or to lighten her base, You had a difficult connection. And to remember as well, the most important thing before melting or before toning is preparation. There's 3 products, actually 4, but there's 3 products that are really, really, really important. Service Post, which will even out the porosity of your hair before you tone. Blonde or Seal and Care, which is like Service Post, but it removes the sulfates as well and takes anything out of the bleach that you've used, and that will then create the perfect canvas for your melt or for your toning, whichever it is. It's a lot of this stuff is just science, and it's really important that we understand that. The other one, then there's a magma sealing care, which is specifically for magma, and it helps with the holding onto the deposit of the colour, which is really, really important as well, and it's a beautiful product. And then there's the new the new spray in the Colour Motion range, and if you bring up your hair dam, you put on the Colour Motion spray in particular areas where there's heavy porosity. That will make your melt, it'll take better, and it'll take more evenly and slower. So if you put something like an A1 on hair where it's very porous, it can grab really quickly and can go a little bit blue or a little bit grey on you, where if you put on the post spray beforehand, that just won't happen, So you do need to have Service Posts, you do need to have Blonde or Sealer Care, and you do need to have those sprays if you want to be melting. Where you want to be melting, you want to be putting on that kind of stuff. They're really, really, really important. A lot of people like to put Wellaplex in with their toners while they're taking, because they're taking over bleached hair and they're reformed, but so that's really, they're really, really important that your pH is perfect. I mean, if your pH is perfect, you can take your time. I've got a good few posts up there about a hair melt. If you put in the top of the page hair melts Andrew or whatever, put hair melts, you'll see them coming up. And the preparation for a melt is really, really important, and that you choose the right toner for the right depth. I did one there last year, was in and it's still up on the page, and I explained that I used 916 in the ends. I wanted to use 10A1, but I couldn't. I used 916 in the ends because I didn't get there. I didn't get to the level of lift, and she had old colour in her hair. So you've got to tone at the level. You can use toners that have high ammonia content that will push the hair a little bit more, if you have to, and that's really in the hands of experts. I mean, you'll see Jack Martin, he uses the gel toners in North America quite a lot because he needs to get to another level that he can't get with a normal toner, and they are amazing at that. And that's really, it's amazing that you can do that, but they will disturb the underlying pigment of somebody with a natural base. So if you put them on highlighted hair with natural hair, it will disturb the underlying pigment, just to be aware of that. So if you're looking to push your highlight, you're also going to push the natural base, which can create a lot of brassiness. So to be aware, to be aware of that, what you have a returning client who has bleached. I missed that one there. Alexandria, you're like a little angel in that little picture there. You're all answering each other, yeah. But the post is really important before melting and before all that type of stuff. I can't believe we had over 100 and something people on live tonight. I have a lovely stuff about communities and about how hairdressers are such a giving people, and how to work with that behind the chair. And so I will keep that for next week. And I still have a story for Karen in particular, which we'll keep for next week. But this has been a really good one on Colourtouch. If there's any more questions, don't be afraid to ask them. If there's something you would like me to highlight in Sunday service, don't be afraid to ask them. Once a month we will do the Ask Me Anything, and we will open it up to everything. But I do keep an eye on the page, and I see what's coming up. And this week Colourtouch came up an awful lot, particularly toning and stuff like that. So we do tend to react quite quickly to what you guys are after or what you need. And remember to stay in the community. Everything you look for is in the community. I'm glad you enjoyed the Sunday service tonight, Jane. I'll be looking forward to your video, and I'll be doing a review of it here on Sunday service. And so don't you worry, Jane. We take care of our own. If you have a tough time, the community is always here for you. Thanks, Alex. I'm glad you enjoyed it this week. There was a lot of it. Thank you again for everybody who tuned in today, particularly the high numbers. Again, anything you would like us to deal with, there's an awful lot of ranges we still have to go through. System Professional, Sebastian, Emmy, we did Nioxin, that was terrific. We go back over, we did Colliston, Illumina is always a great one. Magma, I think I'll need to go back over Magma again because a lot of people are talking about Magma. Magma, and then obviously the Blondor range, you know, which we're gonna see the new base breaks will be arriving for Blondor, I think in May. Okay, one of the best today, but you're always good. Oh, thank you, Major Mario. Thanks very much. Yes, I'd love to do Sebastian. You know, I'm such a fan, and I'm gonna do in Sebastian, but it's such a big range that I really want to bring some of the products home. And I know that if you're self-employed, you can't carry Sebastian. It's a real salon product, but I still think you'll really appreciate it, and it's terrific. It's a terrific range. So I think Sebastian will be coming up. And I was talking to the lovely lady who runs GHD this week as well. So maybe we might get a chance to do something on GHD. I'd love to do something on GHD. I'd love to show you the glide and all that type of stuff. Wouldn't that be amazing if we could do something on GHD? So hopefully that might happen as well. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Okay, do not let the world get in on you. You know, just have a lovely week, do the best you can, and be good to each other, and take care of the people around you, and don't forget to wash your hands. Wash your hands 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day. Just wash your hands, and good old soap and water, 20 minutes. Make sure to wash here, make sure to wash your thumbs inside, outside, fingers in, fingers out. My little one, my 10-year-old taught me how to wash my hands the other day. 20 seconds and we'll all be okay. Okay? The world has always had disease. It's always had infections. It's always had problems, and it always will. You know, we had typhoid back in the in New York, killed millions. You had the plague, foot and mouth, swine flu. There's always stuff. So, you know, just remember that this isn't the first time. Okay, and it won't be the last time. Keep your hands clean, wash your hands, and be good to each other, because everybody's in this together. Okay, much love to me. He's doing the rave moves now. Much love to me. Did you see me doing the big box, little box, Alison? Big box, little box, big box, little box, small box, big box, little box, small box, big box, little box. That's just for you, Alison. You know the nightclubs. You're welcome, guys. Thanks again for a lovely Sunday service. I'll go through all the questions and answer them as best I can. Later on, I'll watch it. And I'm going now to have my dinner and to cook my little one a little bit of something to eat. And the rest of the family are out. Alexa, good to see you on. Thanks for everybody. We'll be fine. Wash your hands. You'll be fine, okay? You know, remember the press. They're all about advertising. They love stuff like this, okay? And they're looking at their worst case scenarios. It's like these hurricanes and storms. Most of them just pass over, okay? They just pass over, and everyone goes, what about that storm? You know, never hit. You know, you get the odd one that does, you know? But you just never know. So do the best, okay? Yeah, and actually you can watch it back. So, much love. God bless, guys. Boom. An hour and a half is long enough for anybody. Thanks, Diana. Talk to you all soon. Much love and light. Love you all, guys. Talk to you soon. God bless. Have a good week, okay?